Test, 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 and we are all set to go. Okay, let me make some moves over here very fast. There we go. Okay. Get that there. One more little step. Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. Sorry, just fixing up something at the last minute. I was going to stream a little bit later here, but turns out Bitcoin's beating me to it. I thought I might have a little bit more time here. So we'll wait for a few more people to kind of stroll in here because I know I don't have many notifications because I've been putting out so many freaking YouTube videos over the past few days. However, we'll wait a couple seconds. Alrighty, but hope you guys are doing well. I like that you guys are answering the poll question already. Are you guys buying the dip? Yes or no? Looks like the majority of you guys so far are not going to be buying the dip. And hey, Richard, happy to see you back, guys. Today we're just going to hop right into it as far as Bitcoin's concerned. I know more people will join the stream once I get going here. But Bitcoin, altcoins, the big news right now. A little bit of more FTX drama, but the majority of today's stream is definitely going to be go to Bitcoin, right? So let me hop on here very fast, everybody. Before we get started, though, let me see if I can find this. There you go. Something to pick up your spirits, little baby hedgehog. It looks like, because I know today is definitely not a great day. I'm not even on the right page. Let me see if this. You guys should be able to hear me on this one, but when I go to the other one, it cancels itself out. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. There we go. All right, sorry, my audio input capture went to a whatever you want to call it. It glitched out. Sorry about that. I think you guys can hear you. Okay, sweet. All right. Well, there goes Streamlabs. But anyway, guys, I'll recap what I was just talking about because I know YouTube has a little bit of a lag here. Thanks for letting me know, guys. That's why I make sure to check the comments every now and again. All right, long story short here, guys, and sorry about the charting stuff. Basically, we knew we were at a technical level of resistance, whether you're talking about the SPY and the NASDAQ. Both of those are facing resistance, and we got beat down, okay? Now, going over here to the Dow, it's a little bit different. We kind of hit a resistance zone, but the Dow really wanted to keep on going while the NASDAQ and SPY pretty much stopped it from going any further. We still have to worry about these death crosses coming up over the next few months. And hey, far from broke, I know I got my my NFT Seattle hat on right now in a white shirt. I look like I'm from Oakland right now. Even though this is like a heavy duty work shirt, I love it so much, and it's like freezing outside in Washington State right now. So I'm just like trying to stay as warm as I can. But yeah, so just to take away the charts here very fast, if I can hide this. This is the Dow Jones, everybody. We can even get rid of that line, some resistance. Going back historically to 2008, dot-com bubble, even though it wasn't hit as hard as dot-com bubble, you can see that we normally have these really bad moves when we have these death crosses here. The Dow isn't for certain to have a death cross, okay? We're kind of going back into this type of pattern here. You see how it's more sideways for a while, then eventually we drop? Well, in 2008, we just kind of went down hard. We're kind of doing this one, if you ask me. However, if we go over to the SPY very fast, if I can, oh, there it is. Can I do this the right way? You see how these are more drastic, We're going into that more drastic phase now. And then same with NASDAQ. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. More drastic. If I get rid of all this stuff, you can see we're going into that more drastic phase. The scary thing about the NASDAQ from here right now is we're probably going to have that death cross early January. And, you know, every time we've had a death cross, to go back into that talk, we've had a really bad move in the price action. So if I put the NASDAQ back on here, then we'll go back to Bitcoin, because I know that you guys probably didn't hear me on that one. Death cross here, boom. Death cross here, boom, right? Both led to some really nasty moves in the market. Even over here, when we had the death cross between the 20 and the 50, that was a bad move. And we had talked about that a while ago too, especially when the economy is not looking too bad, because we have had a death cross right there. Didn't really do much. So that was actually pretty nice. So hopefully we have a few examples of hope, I would say. But you can see right here, getting rejected, coming back down. We also got rejected off of the 20 here, but we're probably going to have a death cross over the next few weeks. Let's hope that the market can hold up. A bright spot here as we talk about Bitcoin and whatnot, and other stuff. Bitcoin's only down about 4.5%. It's heading back down to that 16,500 level that we've talked about over the past couple weeks. However, like Dogecoin is down 11%. Ethereum Classic is down 13%. Ethereum is down 8%. STMX down 12.5%. Sol down 12.5%. Matic down 9%, 10%. Dogelon Mars down about 6%. You're seeing altcoins get hit hard. And what this means, without going too much into the data here, it means Bitcoin is gaining dominance, which it tends to do in a bear market. People have been waiting for Bitcoin to gain dominance like this for quite a bit of time, guys. Quite a bit of time. Let's see. What's going on right here? Let me take this hat off because it's too much stress on my head with these headphones on here. But what do you call? So right now, we're basically just going back into that bearish formation. One thing here before we start looking at some of the other charts. Whale number 3, they did sell off some yesterday, and they did sell some off the 13th or so. I think we talked about this one right here on the 13th, but they were down. These two were false signals, if you will. these two seem to be more appropriate here on that last little peak that we saw. All right, so let's go over here very fast. Let's just go to the daily charts. Guys, we're going to look at two different breakdowns, I guess you would say. So we talked about this breakdown here. We did officially break down below it. It doesn't look like we're going to actually have a golden cross after all between the 20-day moving average and the 50. We had an opportunity here, but what did we say? If we weren't able to break above the 50-day moving average here, going back to the beginning of the stream, we're most likely going to make this pattern right there. We didn't know how much we were going to fall, but we knew we were going to start to break down after a nice little pump here, kind of going back to what we were talking about in March, right? Over here, January, February, March. See how when we finally broke down, stuff really started to turn bad. You can even go back over here, really nice pump back in August, and then we broke down and we started coming back down hard. The pump that we just experienced was nowhere as large as the pump we saw the last two times. There's not as many buyers, people are freaking out, and people frankly just don't have as much money as they once did to be investing in the market. So for this pump right here from low to high, Bitcoin went up 47%. This pump up right here, Bitcoin went up like 42%. And I think from this pump right here, let's see, Bitcoin ran up only 20% this time. And to be fair, that's really because of this June lows that we were talking about. The only way we were really going to get excited about Bitcoin here was if all the news was good, which the news ended up being okay, not great, but fine, it was decent. And then we had to close above the 17,622 level on the weekly charts. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. And on top of that, you guys know how I've kind of complained about how the market has been very irrational over the past few months because, in my opinion, the economy is going to get a lot worse than it is currently right now. But the market keeps on suggesting that the economy is going to be fine. Me and the market have been at odds on that viewpoint, and so I've called them irrational out of, I guess, some sense of arrogance that I may have. However, it seems like today and yesterday, as I've been watching Fox Business, CNBC, and a touch of Bloomberg, all of a sudden now people are saying, oh, well the market didn't price in the Federal Reserve holding the interest rate hikes for so long, yada, yada, yada. So maybe the market's going to change its tune here. We'll see. But I think, guys, we only have like another, okay, this isn't going to sound like a little bit of time, but like in a macro level view, it's not much time. I think we really only have a few more months of this before we find the bottom. At most 6 months, I would say. If we have a really bad recession, maybe 8 months. But I think we're closer to the end of this than you guys realize. Let's go over here to Bitcoin on the 5-minute chart. You can see we're making lows right now. Our next level of support, if we want to just have it on the chart here, because we just broke down below that one. Oh, man, there's not even a good level at this point. Probably just add a Fibonacci level. Just keep that on for now. There you go. Is right over here around 16,530. We've now hit that 16,500 level that we've been talking about for the past 2 weeks now. Now, whether we hold, that's a big thing. But Bitcoin right now, before we've ended the trading day, is down about 4.5% or about $800. We have Ethereum down about 8%. And let's just kind of go over to the 4-hour chart for this. You can see Bitcoin's breakdown on here. It's fine. Let's get rid of this breakdown now as well. Ethereum, nasty breakdown here. Very nasty breakdown. Let me just clear this chart out for now. There you go. So you guys can see what's happening without it being too messy. We talked about a few breakdowns that Ethereum had. It mostly just wanted to go sideways. One big pump, double top, came back down. Not looking so pretty here. But Ethereum at the same time, guys, is actually finding a nice little bottom or getting closer to it. So you're probably going to see some buyers hop in here. We don't know if the buyers are going to be enough to stop Bitcoin from going down over the next few hours. However, they're going to enter in here. There's always a day trader who's willing to buy on a level of support and take that risk. We'll see if they get blown out or liquidated, but they're going to take that risk, okay? Ethereum Classic. Now, some of these coins, let's kind of back up a little bit on the weekly charts here just so you guys can see. I haven't talked about this, I don't think, for like 3 weeks now. 3 weeks now, I believe. But if you go back to this weekly chart, no, it might have been a while longer. One of the big things I tell you guys, because I still think we're in a bear market, I don't think we reached bottom. And this is where a lot of me and a lot of other YouTubers, TikTokers, Twitter people, influencers, technical analysis, whatever you want to call us. This is where a lot of us differ. So since I'm so bearish in the market going into next year, which I'm probably a minority in, or maybe I'm not a minority anymore, but I was a few months ago. Every time a coin has these really big, massive pops, what did I tell you guys? Those are the ones that have are going to fall the hardest when the market starts to turn sour again. And we're seeing that same type of thing again with Ethereum Classic. And Ethereum Classic is a great stock or great coin to trade. Excuse me, a great coin to trade. If you get anywhere like this bottom, not even at the bottom right here, but just in this zone, it popped up 191%. But what's happened since then? It's fallen down about 65%. So I want you guys to understand that if we do have another pop, which we may have sometime next month probably, we might have a small bounce going into the next few days. No, we probably will come down a little bit more here, honestly. But watch out for those pumps because you're going to be happy when you buy them and you scale and everything. But, they will come down hard. So, which is why I continue to dollar cost average. Now, Dogecoins, we can get rid of all the stuff for Dogecoin as well right now. It's not as important. Dogecoin is also coming back down, breaking down below the 20-week moving average here. No hope for a golden cross there. We would have had to sustain a move all the way through the end of the month. You can see today it is just flatly coming down. And again, like a lot of other coins out there, it's hitting those support levels right there, which means there's going to be an opportunity for a bounce pretty soon. Whether you guys want to buy now, later on, if you guys want to take that bounce, by all means, go for it. But just be careful and have your stop losses set. You can see Binance coin here. A lot of drama around Binance right now. CZ's doing interviews, CNBC. People are saying he slipped up and admitted something. It's all out chaos right now as far as people freaking out because they think Binance may go under, yada, yada, yada. Oops, let me get rid of that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, you can see that we're heading back down to those lows we experienced in June, or for some other coins, maybe ones we experienced over the past few weeks. But let's just kind of go through the list. ADA, you guys know this is one of the few coins that I sold out completely of. And I've only recently started to buy back into it. Primarily, I don't know if Ghost is here, but what happened was ADA was a long time ago was taken off of eToro, and that was my signal to get out of it. But ADA seems to be one of the weakest performers in the market right now. And if we go over here and just try to find it, I guess. Where is ADA? Let's go over here. There you go. Oh, it's number 9. I just totally skipped over it. Yeah. So right here, ADA, it's no longer Dogecoin's overtaken it now. It looks like it's at about 7%. This market cap is on $9 billion. It can definitely go down a lot more. But this thing, year to date, it's down 80%. Dogecoin is only down 55% year to date. Let that kind of sink in, so to speak. XRP is only down about 60% year to date. Polygon's only down about 70% year to date. Polkadot's only down 83% year to date, and that kind of matches up with ADA. So, Tron, surprisingly, people make fun of me for buying Tron. I only really buy it because they have the really cheap fees. Year to date, they're only down about 30%. The other coin that people always wonder about is, poor internet computer. Geez, it's down to like $3 now. Wow. What's the other one? Let's see, BitTorrent. We haven't talked about BitTorrent in a while, but it's not right. It's gone down way more than 0% down. But yeah, it's kind of sinking there. If you guys want to, you can see Sol's also going down. This is part of the FTX saga. Let's go over here to Twitter very fast. Let's get out of here so you guys can have a little more of a what's going on type of talk. If I typed in Binance, right, I did. Okay. Let's see. It seems like there's a lot of FUD on there. I haven't seen any big news. But let me see if I can find it. Let's see if CZ's actually said anything over the past few hours here. Crypto Quant dashboard, Binance proof of reserve report. Let's see. I'm trying to find out if there's any actual news on it. If you guys know anything about any news that I need to check out, or a Twitter account that I should be following that has given out news, let me know so I can pull it up here. Because right now I'm not seeing any big news about Binance, at least on Twitter, right? I've heard some stuff, but I haven't been able to verify it or anything like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Team YouTube. Because I just searched Binance and I saw nothing. And I usually get alerts from some of those crypto bot accounts that kind of show you news and stuff like that. But I haven't seen anything. If I trust Binance more than the government, let's see. This might be it right here. This is what 12/16. So let me just go over to Google then, I guess. There you go. 33 billion in withdrawals from BNB. Yeah, there's an attempt most likely to do a bank run on it. I know they tried to do it with FTX as well. They did it with Celsius. There may be some panic, but this is why. What did we tell you guys? If you guys want to put all your money into cold storage, get a Ledger Nano wallet, and put it over there. And let's see. I'm trying to figure out what's the news driving it though. If it's just fear, it's just fear. But if there's like a catalyst to the fear, that's what I want to find out right now. It's right here. And hey, Crypto Yellow Vest, yes, dollar index is definitely popping off right now because of the interest rates, and also we just hit a nice support level there. I was surprised too because Europe and England also raised their interest rates by I think 50 basis points as well. We can go over to CNBC very fast. Excuse me. Oh, this might be it here. Accounting firm. Oh, this is probably what Michael just posted as well. Accounting firm. Oh, let me stop this from playing right here. Otherwise, YouTube is going to get really mad at me. There we go. Accounting firm that issued proof of reserves report for Binance halt service to all crypto clients. Excuse me. Let's see right here. So a Binance spokesperson said Mazars has indicated they would temporarily pause their work with all crypto clients globally, which include Crypto.com, KuCoin, and Binance. Unfortunately, this means that we will not be able to work with Mazars for the moment. Ultimately, our users want to know that their funds are secure and that our business is financially strong, Binance statement continued. To that end, Binance capital structure is debt-free, and over the past week, Binance passed a stress test that should give the community extraordinary comfort that their funds are secure. Despite the large number of withdrawals, December 12th to 14th, $6 billion of net withdrawals over 3 days, we were able to fulfill them without breaking stride, right? So, and it goes on to say Binance said it has reached out to several major accounting firms, including the Big Four, seeking one willing to perform a proof of reserves audit. The crypto exchange said the Big Four, which are Deloitte, Ernst & Young, KPMG, and PricewaterhouseCoopers, are all currently unwilling to conduct a PRR for a private crypto company. So there you go. So they're having a trouble with their proof of reserves kind of statement, I guess you would say, or the report might be a better way to say it. And I think that's probably what's causing a little bit of this move here. But FUD is always FUD. Now you can see people are starting to buy back up as we end the rest of the day here, the trading day for crypto, so to speak. And we might see a short-term pump up back up to maybe 16,732. And then from there, we'll probably have to test out a little bit more of a resistance level. But you can see back when this news was breaking, I guess you would say, these support levels only really, these are Fibonacci, not the strongest, but decent opportunity to find a pivot point, right? They were holding barely, held barely there, and we're holding barely here at the moment with an opportunity to do a reversal. We don't know if it's going to reverse. I just know that people are going to try to buy in and see what happens. Maybe if we go over here to whale trades. Yeah, maybe if we go over here to whale trades, you may see some longs coming out right now, but no. All shorts. Well, this is 39 minutes ago. His bot really lags. Jeez. Yeah, I know there's been trades over the past few minutes that are not showing up here. But okay. But you guys can plainly see Bitcoin is not having a fun time. Let me get rid of the Fibonacci levels for now. We'll just put that support level right back here and keep that an eye on that one right there. See, and hey, Lalo, you're shorting BNB, dude. You're looking at some really good money right now. There, it reminds me when I shorted Luna back a few months ago. Oh my gosh, that was a nice little short of the lifetime there. And hey, General Brennan, trading view auto triple bottom indicator on Doge 4-hour chart. What do you think? Yeah, we just talked about that. It is hitting a support level right now. It is hitting a support level. Yes, everything is. Everything is. Bitcoin right here. I just told you guys a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago. This is where everybody would want to be buying in if they want to play a bounce play. Now, we didn't bounce the last two support levels, so maybe we'll eventually come crashing down below this one. But this is a larger support level, and it's the end of the trading day. And by trading day for crypto, I just mean we're about to start a new daily candle. And that's where we might have a little bit of a wick going into tomorrow. Because usually when we have these large breakdowns, it's like a long candle. One day of like maybe testing stuff out. We have a little bit of a pullback while all the shorts exit their positions or at least scale out. And then we have to see if we go down another leg later on in the trading day for tomorrow's candle, which is the candle starting in 15 minutes. Again, you know, it would have been better to buy at that Fibonacci level, which was like right there, which is like really, really close. Let's see. And hey, Lala, what about MEXC? What about MEXC? Mike, do you think Bitcoin can survive regulation? Yes, I can, but the regulation around Bitcoin is more going to go to exchanges and more regulation on blockchain technology, I believe. I think Bitcoin will be fine. It'll be interesting to see what the bills do to talk about Bitcoin. I didn't stream last night because I went to a meetup at a bar in downtown Seattle. I don't know what it's called. Let me see if I can find it here. And the reason I bring this up here is because I have a few friends in the crypto space that are very knowledgeable about it. And I have a friend who actually she studies crypto law. So I'm going to have her on the channel eventually to actually break down whatever bill comes out of Congress that we know is going to get passed, because it looks like the FTX bill is going to be swiped aside as a mistake, so to speak. Where is Meat Korean Barbecue Pike? Oh, where is it at? Beer. Bevmo, no. Oh, I totally forgot what it was. Bottle Works, no. Oh, Optimism Brewing, there we go. Was I even in the right spot? Oh yeah, I was kind of right there. This place called Optimism Brewing. And last night it was awesome. I met a lot of cool people. It's a really chill place. I mean, I don't know if they have a picture of the inside. That's the outside. No. Whatever. It's a very good bar spot. It's trendy where all the locals go. And like that. And you can bring your dogs and stuff like that. It's really, really chill. But basically, I have a few friends that deal with the law when it comes to crypto. So I'm going to ask one of them in particular to do a Zoom call with me, which I'm going to record it. And she's going to break down exactly what you guys need to know once we have a bill. Once we have a bill, though. When I got to wait for a bill to show up. Otherwise, I'm just going to ask her to read a bill that isn't going to go nowhere. And that's kind of a waste of time because if you guys didn't know, Congress makes bills every day that go nowhere. And they're just made so they can say, hey, I proposed this bill. It didn't go anywhere, but I proposed this bill to help, yada, yada, yada. Like, so much time is spent on proposing bills that will never go anywhere. So I want to not waste her time by doing that. That's right here. And hey, Kevin, what's right here? If Binance is lying about the reserves, it will bring them down. It will bring them down hard and fast, and you will see CZ somewhere like totally remote where nobody can reach him. Let's see right here. But I don't even think CZ lives in America. I don't know where he lives, actually. And hey, Lalo, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Where do you see what whales are buying and selling? So there's two things I would say here. If you're looking for primarily the Bitcoin whale number 3, all you have to do to find this website is just type in largest Bitcoin whales or wallet, and then it'll be right here at the top, bitinfocharts.com. And then you go right here to whale number 3. That's what we normally look for to see, hey, they're selling off some Bitcoin. Normally, when they sell off Bitcoin, the market's about to tank, right? Although the last time they sold off, the market actually went a lot higher. Then it tanked after they sold over here. But usually, like 80 to 85% of the time, these guys are spot on. Whoever owns this wallet is spot on. Over the past couple weeks, they've been wrong half the time and right half the time because there's been two major sell-offs, right, from them. Now, if you're talking about from Twitter, normally you just go right here to whale trades. There you go. At whale trades. And then from here you can see how whales are going long or going short, basically. And then you could also go get some software out there if you wanted to look at big levels of buy orders and sell orders that haven't hit yet, so you can see where they're trying to set up the walls. I normally don't go for that too much, but they're all over the place if you want to gather one. But yeah, I just mostly use whale trades and the wallet number 3. Usually those are perfectly fine for me. And then I just buy off of support and resistance technicals because usually those are more trustworthy than the walls I see on those other sites, because walls can be manipulated. They can flash a wall, which is like just there, and so you see it. And then by the time the price actually hits the wall, the support level or the wall, it disappears, and all of a sudden you have a massive breakout. So it kind of tricks people into thinking that, whoa, that support's not going to hold. Whoa, that support is going to hold. Or that resistance is going to hold, and that support's going to hold. And then boom, you get liquidated really fast after a big pop or a big drop. There you go. But you can already see Bitcoin trying to consolidate a little bit here. It's going to be hard, everybody. If you go look at the 4-hour chart, we have 9 minutes left. We really need to hold this level right now. But if you go over here to Bitcoin, this level is primarily a Fibonacci level. It's not like there's a hard support level right here. That hard support level seems to be maybe, if we want to work down, we have a support there, support all through that few days. This is a 4-hour chart. That might be around 16,374. Then after that, we start looking at the higher lows and how that trend started off. And then we start looking at 16,000. Then after 16,000, 15,468. And then if we do break down below that, that's new lows for the year right there. But I would have to believe we're going to have a little bit of a pullback eventually. Normally, we don't just... What was that? There you go. Normally, we come back down a little bit. There's a little bit of a spike, and then we come back down. Normally, we come back down a little bit of a spike, and then we come back down a little bit more. But this one, I have multiple spikes there. But we're kind of in this weird environment where news is driving everything, and it's not necessarily... Let me put this back over here. And it's not necessarily... There you go. It's not necessarily just the technicals here. The technicals said... we broke out. There was a minor Wyckoff there, even though the Wyckoff was kind of weird depending on where you put that line. But mostly we were going off of resistance levels, and primarily for me, because I'm kind of weird compared to most other crypto traders, I was telling you guys I was more bearish just because the SPY and the NASDAQ were up against major resistance levels and those downtrends, not so much off of the Bitcoin technicals. I think it's wiser or better to use the stock market to kind of guide your trades when it comes to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin to guide your trades as far as altcoins are concerned. Yeah, no worries, Lala. Always happy to help you out, and thank you very much for the super chat, my man. I really do appreciate it. My level was 16,650 for today. We break it. Yep, definitely just broke that right there. Right now we're back up to 16,600 or so. And, the shame here is the only way we were going to get really excited here, and, we talked about this a lot, but, in hindsight, I wish we would have broken it with all the decent CPI we had, the 50 basis point rate hike, which was expected. I really wanted to see if we can close above that 17,622 level of resistance on the weekly chart, because that would have gotten my hopes up a lot. At least to get back up to $18,000, $19,000. I think it was like $19,000 by the end of the year. That's not going to happen now unless we get some really crazy good news, and I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. All right, something I may pull up here. Let me see. Do I have one? Let's go to Bitcoin Gans. Weekly chart. Is it set up here? No. Load layout. Bitcoin doge stream. Let's see how that works out. Bitcoin here. There we go. This is one of those GAN boxes that we've been talking about. This is a longer term one all the way back over here from 2015. And you can see right now, over the past few weeks, we've been kind of bouncing off of specific levels here. But we did get rejected off of this old GAN box level, it looks like. Still riding the wave. We are hitting a little bit of level support. Let me go over here to the daily chart. We're hitting it right now if you go on the daily chart. I think I made this on the... I don't know if I made this on the daily chart or the weekly chart. But we're trying to hold it. Let's go back over here a little bit. See. We might actually go more sideways today, I hope. But yeah, we might not find support again until we go back over here to this 15,589 level or so. This 15,589 level, I think, is another GAN box's orange level. But I like this GAN box a lot better here. So what I should do very fast for you guys here. Let me do this because this is being used right now on the Dogecoin Bitcoin live stream that I have running up, right? So what I'll do very fast for us is I'll open up another one. So let me hide this. No, let me not hide this because we have to do something specific. Let's open up 4. That's the main one. Let's go over here to the bottom right. Let's open this up. Let's go to weekly charts. Let's go to this. Let's hide that. And I don't need this one. I need a specific Bitcoin chart for this. All right, there we go there. Let me open up something on my side here. There we go. Okay. And here's what I'll do for you guys very fast because this will be worth it. Okay. So let me get down some of these lines here. This is the boring side of trading, but boy, oh boy, is it worth it in my opinion. Okay, let me go over here. Let's add that one right there. Let's add that one right there. And let's add this one right here, okay. Now, which one do we want to do first? Let's turn log off. Let's hide that right there. Let's go with lock price to bar ratio. Oh boy, okay. Let's go over here and do a... Let's zoom out a little bit here. Oh, maybe I zoomed out a little too much. Drag that sucker out. All right, that's 370. Wow, we got to go all the way to 720, don't we? 360? Or is 360? Yeah, 360 is not good enough. All right, 720. This is at 369. Let's go over here and 369. Let's go to 200, I would assume. If I zoom in here a little bit, we did tap on it. I want to bring this down a little bit. So let's try 100 and see if that doesn't go as low here. And that's still perfectly fine. We're above it. Okay, awesome. Okay, and we're about to hit that one pretty soon. Okay. All right. So there we go there. Let's do a GAN square, but with no angles. That way it doesn't get too cluttered here. So let's go over to a GAN square. Let me actually zoom in a little bit more here for you guys. Crypto has really messed up my charts as far as making everything look nice. That's not what I want. Oh, I meant Gann box. Okay. Let's drag that out. All the way out here. Oh, shucks. Close enough. Okay. Let me go over here because it looks very cluttered. Take off the angles. There we go. Now we got our 2 spots. Those 2 spots match up pretty nicely. What we've seen, even the angles work out pretty well. That's nice. Okay. Now let's do that 2 more times, guys. And I'm sorry, this is going to be kind of boring. I know, but like it'll give you some good data. I promise you, it'll give you some good data. I was trying to do this the other day, but Loki was being a brat. And every time Loki rests his head on my lap, I just know I should take him outside and go give him some fun time. Okay, so let's go back over here. Snap. Let me lock everything. Lock. Why can't I click on these specific lines? There you go. Lock. Zoom in here. Magnet. Let's extend this one more time. 300. 360 to, no, we gotta give 360, okay. 360. And since we got this right now, I guess let's start off with 100. Is that gonna be too high or not? That is too low. 200. 200 works, okay. Now, I'm gonna lock that in there very fast. And let's go over here very fast, and let's do a... And no, okay, no angle, sweet, okay. Let's go over here very fast. Oh, the magnet's still on, okay. Let's just put that up. All right, and now we're going over here. Okay, that matches up. All right, good enough. Oh shit, I messed up something. The other one's locked. Okay, good. I can tell which one is which now. There we go. Okay, let's lock that one too. I don't know if I should do the third one here because that might even make it a little bit more clustered here. I mean, we couldn't even close above the second one either. 1, 2, yeah, okay. No, we need the other one as well. Yeah, we need to have one more here for a little bit more clarity. Last one, guys, I promise. Last one, guys, I promise. Let's go again, square again. This one will be a lot easier, though, because I don't have to zoom in as much. And then let's go over here to, I mean, we're already at, what, 180. Oh, we can go 180 this time. Sweet. Okay. Then from 180 609, let's go over to 400. Perfect. Matches up with some other stuff. Okay, now where is this at? It's right there. So let me just see if I can go over here. Do a Gann box. Put it right down there at the bottom. And just top that up right. There we go. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Everything is locked and loaded right now. Okay. Now, what we're using for this, because I know we're not in your normal log chart, we're using the lows of 2015, 2018, and 2020, and we're making 3 separate Gann square and Gann box setups, okay? This usually just lets you know some basic support levels and resistance levels. The reason I use this is because these are one of the few tools that you guys can use that you guys can set up for the future. So I could have these exact things set up like years in advance. I could have this big box set up years in advance, all the way back from 2015. The only thing is you have to be able to somewhat predict how high the asset is going to go up. And even if you can't, it's going to take up a lot of your time to do that multiple times, right? You're going to usually be going off of some basic numbers as far as different angles and different ratios here, but there's only so many, so it's not like the most difficult thing to do. I have a tutorial if you like want to learn about it. It's called Ganbox Trading Strategy. If you like, I bet if you just YouTube that, it'll show up towards the top because I think it's like the best tutorial about setting up Gan boxes that YouTube has at this point in time. Okay, so we're even hitting a timed. We're actually hitting a timed pivot level here. Although I don't, timed pivot levels are very hard to try to understand. All right, so we really don't have many support levels here. I was hopeful that, hey, maybe we could try to hold this cluster. FTX really bombed us down because we had a really strong support level down here. All right, so if we're going off of this, our next support level seems to be right around here, around 14,585. I mean, I gave you guys that number like a month ago, but, it's very easy to forget a number like that. Anything else coming back down here? I might as well just add on a couple basic fib levels here too. Gonna give us any help? No, that's not gonna give us any help either. Oh, is there a way to do this without messing up everything? Yes, there is, but it's tedious. Very, very tedious. There you go. Yeah, that matches up a little bit with it. For me, if I was going to look for another buying zone, I would probably have that thing priced in around 14,500 and 14,890, close to 14,900. If we do start to fall down below that, I think it'll end up being something more of a longer wick that may take us back down to 13 and a half. So if you wanted to do a more traditional buy-in method, I would even say, let me just draw it out. It doesn't matter too much. My first big buying level here, or I would even say entry to moderate level, would be somewhere in this zone. Oh, sorry, it's going to be all weird because of how the log chart is worked out. Would be in this zone right here. And then if we manage to bounce off of one of these curves here, somewhere around the $13,000 range, 13,000 to 14, although I probably say it'd be low to mid 13,000s range. I would hope for a nice little bounce around there for maybe a more larger position. And then just like how when we broke down here, you see we have these little bounces. That's the bounce I would try to play. This most likely won't happen until January if you ask me, but it looks like we're just starting a trend to come back down to at least the 15,000 level because of all the resistances we faced. There is a lot of resistance up here. You could even just see it on the chart. We are facing your normal horizontal resistance levels, your circle, fib circle, or fib spiral resistance levels as well here, and it just didn't look too well as the 50-day moving average, but that's a pretty basic thing you guys don't have to use all this data for. As far as support levels afterwards, though, guys, a lot of stuff breaks down really fast once we start breaking down below this level around 14,000 and a half, okay? If we do break down below that, excuse me, there's really not much more support levels beyond that, okay? What I can do very fast, because there is one, I believe, I do this a lot in just tedious work. If I were to go over here very fast, Chainlink, we don't have to worry about Chainlink, I don't think so. Chainlink is just going down in flames, isn't it? One more here, weekly chart. See this way back in here in 2011? That's the level you got to use. It's almost impossible to do this, though, because of how annoying this thing is. Turn off log. Okay. Oh, boy. I can't. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay. I have to be able to set this up to be what I want it to be. Okay, let's go over here. Lock price to bar ratio. This one will go a lot faster, though. Oh, shucks. Got to take the magnet off, otherwise it just goes automatic. We need 720. And then we need, this is 254. Wow, okay. Let's just go to 100. Let's just cut that over a little bit more than half. Okay, there we go. This one goes to about this is actually 14,400. So if I added that other one in, yeah, it's really about 14,400. And you can see we've been gliding on this one over here as well. We broke out above it. This is, oh wow, I haven't used this one. Wow, this one's been pretty darn accurate going back. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, let me do one more thing here, guys. This one's more accurate than I thought it was going to be. I normally don't go that far back in time because I don't like to, because you can see how much of a mess it is. Okay, bad for that. Yeah, that $14,500 level, everybody, we really need to hold on to that one. I mean, like, we really need to hold on to it. Okay, let's go back over here. Let's go over there. Oh, sorry to breathe into the microphone, everybody. Okay, let's just click on that very fast, and let's go to, wait, that's, oh, man. A little bit higher, there we go. Angles. Anything here that I should be aware of? No, these angles haven't done anything for us. Okay, that's fine. There you go. Yeah, it seems like that support level happens to just be around 14,414 for this one. And going over here, the next support level is, if we're going off of these specifically, 14,547. So you might even drop that buying zone a little bit more. So maybe from 14,890 to all the way down here to, oh man, I deleted the wrong one. That's fine. But down to like 14,400 or so. I might even spread that zone out a little bit. Or if you want to get a little bit more aggressive, you can actually go between orange to orange. So that means you start buying at 14,547 for a longer, this is like a month, 2 month long swing type of play we're talking about right now. Depending on whenever this stuff ends. And if Binance really does go kaput, this is really like a capitulation type of event then, because we're going to be going to new lows. Between 14,547 and 14,400 or about. All right. So there's a $150 range in there if you want to take it. You might even extend it here for the spiral, which has actually been very, this has been pretty darn useful for us so far. I mean, for those of you guys that care to do this stuff. Maybe as far down as 13,500, and that's what we just talked about a few minutes ago as well, as if it really gets down that low, 13,500, or what did I say, low to mid 13,000s, okay? So from a technical perspective, I know that was really confusing and a lot of clutter and whatnot, but I would be looking at some of those levels if you guys want to start buying in for somewhat of a month to 2 month long swing play here. Until then, I would expect Bitcoin to be going down and sideways, unfortunately. Now, we do have some holidays coming up. And by that, I mean the market's going to be closed for certain days because of Christmas, Hanukkah, all festive days. And so you might see the market not be as chaotic, perhaps. That's a maybe on my part. But during that time frame, we have to hope that we don't have any major bad moves. But if we do, that's honestly where I'm going to set up my buying zones here. There are other ways to do this. You can go off of more easy Fibonacci levels. You can go off of basic clusters, which I like to do as well as Fibonacci's. If you go with the basic cluster method, and here's what we talked about before, if you're going to take your buying opportunity, it's still there for you if you want to do a day trade to kind of ride the wave of people scaling out of their positions. I told you guys that, but we're alive. There's no reason, right? But yeah, and because we just started the new day here as well. Go over there as well. Let's just go over to the monthly chart. This will be really nice and easy. You guys know how I feel about the clusters. I made a couple of videos about it. I enjoy them quite a bit. And kind of you see the monthly chart now is not looking as pleasant. Now it kind of fits the trend of like, uh-oh. But here, let's just go to your basic Fib retracements. We'll be fine. Okay. If you wanted to go out for the good old cluster method here, your next cluster is going to be between 14,895 and 14,686. You can see that when you do the cluster method here, and there's a couple multiples on here as well. So I kind of missed a few Fibonacci levels. Whenever you buy these clusters, it does go below them, and then it tends to bounce back up. This is a monthly chart here. Maybe I should go to the weekly chart. It might make it a little easier. You buy when it enters the cluster range. A couple weeks later or a couple days later, it depends on how lucky you are or how big the rebound is. You'll see that no matter where you buy in here, you can walk away with a profit. No matter where you buy in here, you can walk away with a profit. No matter where you buy in here, you can walk away with a profit, okay? Now, same thing even happened here. Wherever you buy in here, you can walk away with a profit. Now, this one wasn't nearly as good, so maybe next one won't be nearly as good, but there's nowhere to tell there. But next cluster seems to be right down here, around 14,900 to 14,063. What I found is the more complicated way of doing everything with the Gann squares, Gann boxes, been more reliable at kind of pinpointing the bottoms, which is why you can see right here, we just kind of entered a little bit of a cluster right there. Can I zoom into this and maybe it'll show you? Because some of the stuff overlaps quite a bit, which is kind of hard. But you see that bottom around 17,823. You can see how this was much more reliable. It got pretty close, but not perfect. But, you know, it said the support level was 18,000 basically, when in reality it went down to 17,500 right there. So it's not perfect, and I'm not going to even claim it's even close to being perfect. However, it does give you the opportunity to make some more trades. But if you were going to put any Gann boxes on your charts right now, it looks like the more favorable one would be to use the one from 2011, or do just one for all of them and just understand there's going to be multiple orange lines, but only so many that you guys will really care about, honestly. All right, let's just go to this Binance chart now and make it all nice and crisp. Let's go over here to the 15-minute chart, and we can see how Bitcoin continues to decline here. We're at an oversold range on the RSI, or at least we were about an hour ago. Maybe this is an opportunity to bounce up just a tad, coming out of a bullish divergence there too. Here. And hey, Lalo, you said there's death cross coming for Bitcoin 55 week and the 200 weekly EMA. It's going to be rough. We haven't checked out the here, let me go over here very fast. We haven't checked these out in a long time. I think it was under tutorials for channel because I was building out some tutorials for you guys. So these are moving averages. These are double exponential moving averages. These are EMAs, exponential moving averages. These are TMAs. Okay, just so I know going forward here. So this is the one we normally look at because I'm a real sucker for normal, simple moving averages. I like exponentials, but I just prefer simple. But I look at both. Okay, we've already had that death cross. We already know that it means bad stuff because I was like one of the few. I don't know if there's any other YouTubers screaming about this. I don't scream, but hollering maybe about this death cross that we were watching back in, when was this, March? A long time ago now. We're about to have another death cross here, guys, in January between the 50-week and the 200-week. That's one of the reasons I think we're almost done with this bear market. I really think we're going to find the bottom in end of Q1 or Q2, more likely Q2 of next year. But that's my hope here. But that should bring us down a little bit more here, okay? Now, that's simple moving average. Exponential moving average is over here. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, okay? We are getting closer right now. Hasn't happened yet, but it may happen towards the end of December. This is December 12th. So 19th. It might happen on the 26th if it does occur. And that means, again, you won't really feel the effects of that going until January. So January just may be another crazy month for us. I am hoping that since sometimes when the death cross happens, you can see how overall it's not like a terrible thing. We came down a little bit, but we still kind of went sideways down. It's not like usually it takes a little bit of time for the effect to be felt, I would say. All right. And then over here, let's go over to double exponential moving average. We don't normally have to worry about this too much. I normally look at this on the daily chart, not on the weekly, because you can see the death crosses over here happened a long time ago. But on the daily right here, not much has been going on. We had a little bit of a cluster down here that led to a little bit of a move. Normally the clusters and the DMAs and the TMAs are usually what we're looking for here. We're trying to hold the 50. That kind of matches up with some support levels over here or some resistance levels that now turn into support levels over there. But not much here that I really care about, honestly. Anything else? Low clusters usually work out pretty well. That cluster didn't really do much, though. Let's go over here to TMA. Oh, yeah. We've fallen so much over the past few days, we haven't even had an opportunity to do some cluster. Oh, this is the dollar index. That's what's freaking me out. Okay, I was like, whoa. Okay, that makes sense. More sense. My brain was totally fried there for a second. No, we haven't even had an opportunity to really get a nice little cluster like that. Not even close. Maybe in a few weeks or so, but this is still coming down quite a bit. Yeah, no clusters whatsoever. We might not have this come close to each other until January 1st, January 2nd, and that's if we kind of go sideways from here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. Okay, but enough of that. If you guys have any questions on stocks, coins you want me to talk about, let me know because, I kind of gave you my buying zones here. If we do keep going down right now, we have a good chance of just going sideways here going into the weekend unless this news continues to kind of spiral, the flutter on Binance goes on. But however, if this news gets worse and perhaps Binance starts to have issues and people start to freak out and we have somewhat of another capitulation event where Bitcoin drops, $2,000 further from where it is right now, I'm going to be buying Bitcoin in a range between 14,500 to 13,000, 300 or about, okay? $1,000 range of me buying and adding to a position that I want to hold on for at least a couple weeks, okay? The stop loss for that position will probably be around $13,000 even. If Bitcoin is continuing to crash below $13,000 in one large, massive move because Binance is a very large exchange, I probably won't sell at that point because it'll have to be a really big rebound that'll happen over the following weeks. However, if we bounce off of like 13,500 or 14,000 and then we like creep back down to 13,000, I'll probably do a stop loss there just for my own comfort of mind, so to speak. But light positions around $14,500, maybe medium positions and heavier positions down closer to 13,500 to 13,000 if we really do get down that low. But I don't think we'd actually get down to $13,000 without a similar move in the stock market as well. Okay, I think the stock market's really going to have to tank more than it has already. And going into next week and the week after, we are heading for certain zones of resistance for the SPY and the NASDAQ as far as old uptrends from the lows we experienced just about a couple months ago from the CPI data, right? So before I answer some of your questions, NASDAQ weekly, you guys can just see this little bit of an upward trend we're looking at. We're going to face that support level. We might have an opportunity to bounce here. Might. That could help out Bitcoin a lot here. SPY, a little bit different. SPY's gotten rejected off of that downward trend. We've talked about this who knows how many times. But, that downward trend here. SPY, however, has broken down. Some of you guys like to follow the SPY or the NASDAQ more than the other one as far as where Bitcoin's going to go. Bitcoin, SPY is broken down, same as the NASDAQ here. However, instead of having a more of an uptrend support, the SPY has support level right around here of 369 or so. So we could definitely come back down a little bit more. If you want to use this one, you guys can use that one as well. Although I think we probably will break down below that and probably go down towards 369. So if you guys like your puts and whatnot, you can definitely do that because what this probably means is we're most likely going to have a death cross going into the end of the year, giving us a really interesting January. Depending on how earnings come out, that could really give us a boost or freak us out a little bit coming into January. But right now, no, there are some support levels heading up next week and the week after that. Usually that doesn't mean we're going to be. It usually means we're going to be sideways testing them out until we find some good news or bad news to break us down or pop us back up. So I don't think we're heading for that 13,000, 14,000 support level right now. No. But you guys should definitely have that plan prepared because that's how you make the majority. Well, that's how I make the majority of my money trading these days is buying off of these really large support zones. But the tools I use to do that are definitely nerdy tools, I would have to say. Let me go back over here to Bitcoin. Loki says hello, everybody. Loki definitely says hello. Let me go back here to the 15-minute chart. There we go. We're still trying to bounce up. Here, let me give Loki a treat very fast if I know where they are. Loki. There you go. There you go. All right. He says hello. Damn. I don't know why, but these treats always smell so good. Dog treats smell always so good. I never tried one, never will, but they smell good at least. Smell like barbecue sauce. Let's see. And hey, Brandon, it's Michael. It's Friday, Mike. Where's the whiskey? It is upstairs in a bottle. I had some wine earlier, but I totally drank the rest of it. Let me see. Oh no, I have a little bit of wine left in here. It's some nice white wine I got from 2018. I may drink this a little bit later. But I wasn't even expecting to be streaming this early. I just saw the market crashing, and I was like, it's probably going to keep on going down more. But since we're about to have a turnaround, which I felt towards the end of the day, I was like, I might as well just show up a half an hour earlier. So I don't even know when I started streaming. I might get some scotch a little bit later on. I think I'm going to stream tomorrow and Sunday anyway. But tomorrow I'm doing 2 streams, one for members and then one for everybody else. And then Sunday I'm going to do another one for members and everybody else because I want to have everybody try to play the bounce that I think may happen next week if it does occur. See, and hey, Crypto, how do you retrace all your fibs? Amazing, didn't know. I started to play a lot with the 9 EMA, 20666 AMA. Small time frame for break up and down. Yeah, those are pretty nice. It kind of matches up a little bit with VWAP sometime too. For me, in Fibonacci levels, I will put on as many as I need to get a nice story of what's going on. For the Fibonacci levels, I showed you guys like a few minutes ago as far as just the nice horizontal lines, not the boxes and all that type of stuff. Any pivot point I find on the Bitcoin charts, I can put a Fibonacci level there because that's another useful level. So if I were to go over here very fast, let me get rid of the moving averages because these are all TEMAs. You're not going to really use them too often here. And we know we didn't break above the 17,622 support. So let me just zoom in here. So I could add Fibonacci levels, right here, right there. I can add them right here if I wanted to, right there. Those are pivot levels. I can add them there, possibly there, there. I can add these levels a lot, and they all tell a story. You guys might have noticed while I was talking, there was probably only 2 Fibonacci levels there, but that's because this one over here I think was missing, or maybe it was one of these ones or something like that. But that's where I find those clusters, and those clusters, they work very well. It's my first real time using them during this bear market because I didn't actively trade Bitcoin a lot. During the last bear market, I was just doing stocks and options. Way easier, way nicer. Because Bitcoin at the time, I wasn't going to put a lot of money into my accounts because I was still kind of skeptical of it. I only wanted to buy and hold, not necessarily trade because there are more tools for options traders on these exchanges than a lot of times you see on what you had back in 2017, 2018. Yeah, I just put a lot of them out there. I mean, you can even do stuff like this. Maybe, I don't know if this one will work for me pretty well. So you do that right there. Go over here. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's grayed out right there. I don't know how many of these are going to pop up. But if you did a full one of that, look, it pops up right there. People don't use it. They don't like to, but they're all there. A lot of times, a lot of them don't even show up. I don't know why that's the case, but they're there and they just wear it out. But then if I did something similar, so that's just from there to there, from the lows we saw that summer to the highs we saw. You could do that all the time. But if you do it over here, I mean, like, honestly, are you going to be using them? No, no. You know what I mean? I think ways people use them are typically more for day traders out there. So, because if I use them like this to this, perhaps like that, not going to be as useful, right? Mostly you try to go from those larger pivots. That's why. But if we go over here to the daily chart, maybe something like this, perhaps. There you go. See, a little bottom that we had over here, bounce back up. They're useful. They're useful. I typically don't use them too much, but there's tons of little things you can do with Fibonacci levels that nobody ever talks about. Like, I doubt YouTubers actually do that, or TikTokers, or Twitter people. I doubt you people use that. Again, I don't even use it too much, but I know they're there. Like back over here a little bit, right? A little bit of support. Didn't end up holding though, so you came down here, held right there, rejected right there. This one happens to be around 13,817. Kind of matches that 14,500 to 13,000, let's say 300, 500 level that we just talked about. It matches up with that one. So we may be talking in a few more months, like in hindsight, wow, that really worked. But you guys might not have used that. You guys might have used a Gann box or a Gann square or Fibonacci. You guys could have used something else, basically. But, let's go over here very fast. Maybe something smaller range. Or did we already use this one? I don't know. I got a bad memory. Yeah, we already talked about that one. Never mind. That's the one we just talked about. Excuse me. Anything else in here, maybe? No, that one didn't help out too much. I didn't think it was, but I like to test it out every now and again. Now, bear with me for a second, because since I don't use these, I do have to uncheck every single box. There we go. But, sometimes people like to use it a lot for the dollar index. Usually Fibonacci levels work best with the dollar index. I have never done it with a dollar index like that before, because usually these swings are pretty freaking massive, right? Like, these are some really large swings. But if we go over here, go to the daily chart, I mean, we had a pivot point here, a pivot point there. Yeah. There you go. All right. There you go. You guys don't have to do that, right? But these basic tools that we have, TradingView doesn't really go into all the settings about them, because it can be very tedious and they don't want to scare you away from using their product. But, reverse it. There's so much stuff you guys could do here that most people don't. Probably for good reason, because it gets really confusing and I don't understand half the tools sometimes. But, there's subtle things you can do that, like, wow, looking at that, wow, it all makes sense. It kind of gives you that little bit of a moment to, like, whoa, your mind is mini blown, so to speak. But, it never works. And it's never perfect. It's never perfect. In hindsight, it can be perfect, but you have to have faith that it's going to bounce, right? It's going to bounce. And you have to rely on news, your own historical, your own experience, so to speak. And that's what makes it a little bit more interesting. That's why I went from here to here and not necessarily from here to here. That means, right? Because that means our next stop may be around $98 or so. I doubt it, but, you could play with this quite a bit. And it's not always going to be as accurate, but some of those with ones where you go below the support level or the entry level for the position, it worked out pretty well. Okay, back over here. Let's go back over to the 15. This isn't the right chart. That's a TEMA chart. Let's go back over here. There we go. Let's leave that. There we go. So these next few hours are going to be very important, because we have to hold this new support level that we've kind of made going into the new day of 16,527. It's going to be hard, to be frank, especially as we go into the weekend. There's no stock market to kind of save us. All we're going to be going after, all we're going to be leaning on here for support is good news from Binance saying, hey, we're fine. There's no issues. I haven't heard of any major problems with drawing capital out of Binance, but if that does start, that's where the panic really sets into a market like this. The only thing I've heard from Binance so far was there was some stable coin they were having issues with, but from what I understand, it's because they had to wait for the bank to do a swap for something. I didn't really learn more about that than I probably should have learned more about it, but basically they need to sell their stable coin, get that money in cash to buy another stable coin in order to do the swap. Because the bank is closed, they didn't have enough money on standby or stable coins on standby to do the swap without it or something like that. But it didn't seem like a major problem to me when I kind of heard it explained to myself. But it was just kind of not even a red flag, but it's like, hey, this is going to be used against Binance over the next few days, and it's kind of being used against it, I would say, right? And hey, Isaiah, it's Black Friday all over again. And hey, Ken, hope you're doing well, my man. Let's see. And hey, Max Millie, hope all is well. I'm having some Vsauce Henny tonight for tonight. Cheers, dude. Enjoy it. Guys, I totally forgot it was Friday night. Honestly, I've been working so much and just going out and about that my days have all become kind of blended in. I almost need to have a vacation here eventually. Maybe I'll have a vacation in February. I think that'll be a nice time. And hey, can't wait to quit my 9 to 5. I can't wait for you to quit your 9 to 5 either. What's up, Mike? Can you do support levels for LRC? Yes, I can, but that one's going to be a little toughy. Let's see. There's no Binance one. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. So this one's kind of nasty as well. It's had a pretty big drop off. We're back down to the levels we saw in July of 2021. Not terrible, not good, just kind of going around here. Now, before we go into like some of the more other technicals, the support level I see you want to be buying at is just right now. It looks like it wants to be around 17 and a half cents. I think by the time we break down below that, we're probably just going to go straight through it though. So just be careful at that time. We've already had our death crosses and everything like that from the weekly perspective, and we've just never been able to get back above that 20-week moving average. If we follow on that track, we'll probably break down below maybe sometime in March or February, depending on how bad the market gets over the next few months. Okay. Now, hold on a second. No. Just wondering if there's any longer time frames or not. Doesn't look like I can find one here. All right. So after that, I'd probably just go after this low here then. Right up there. That matches up with the support level a little bit. This one, instead of being at 17 and a half cents though, is around 1672, almost a penny less. So if you wanted to have a buying zone, that might be it, but that'd be more of a a swing trade, maybe for a week or two, if you were to ask me there. But it looks like 17 and a half cents is where you're going to be going. Let me go over here very fast. Is there any old trend lines that could be useful here too? No, not really. I wonder if this really opened up back in June though. I really want to find a longer target here. Because when it falls down this much, there's not really much you can go after. KuCoin, no, that's Litecoin. What the heck hold on a second here. How do we go from LRC to LTC? Bitfinex. This might be it. Well, yeah, I'll live with this one right here. Okay. And we're breaking down below this one. This one really takes you down to 12 cents. This might be the bottom by the bear market time frame, matching up with some of the support levels over here. So I would say you're probably going to have a little bit of a blip buying opportunity around 17 and a half cents. Then after that, it's probably going to be coming back down to 14 cents before this bear market is over. And that's assuming that altcoins continue to drop in value much more than Bitcoin has. That's my opinion, though, for that one right there. Back over here. Come on, Bitcoin. Keep on soaring. That's all we really want at this point, right? Yeah, because what a nasty day. And hey, Somali, Black Friday sale today. I think a lot of people are going to be buying up a little bit for their dollar cost averaging. Let's see. And hey, Bideford, have to run. Love the fib lines. Thanks, Mike. Have a good rest of your day, Bideford. And hey, GT, why did CNBC ask if CC had 2.1 billion to pay back? I was confused by that. Okay, so this one's a little bit more confusing, and I am did some research on it today, and it's still confusing. So basically, when it comes to bankruptcy and bankruptcy law, the company's finances can be looked at for the past year or so, maybe even past few years. I don't think there's a hard deadline for it. So if, let's say FTX is bankrupt, right? If FTX in the last couple of years gave a lot of money to Binance or gave a lot of money to a couple people out there, the bankruptcy court can go to those people or those industries and say, hey, we want that money back because it was a very bad investment on the company's part. Usually lawyers win those battles against the courts and whatnot because they can say, hey, we didn't know they were having problems. They just paid us for a service and we completed that service, right? And so what they're asking about is, hey, you guys know that Binance had a lot of FTT. They sold it or they divested. I don't know exactly what the best phrasing for it, but they got rid of it, right? And part of that was because of a deal that they had a long time ago. And they were asking that because that FTT was worth about $2 billion. And so they're wondering if the court will go after them to claw back that money. And so they were asking, if the bankruptcy court wanted $2.1 billion from you today, could you come up with that money? And I mean, I'm sure they could, but it's not something that you could come up with in one day, so to speak, right? So I think you would have to move money around and try to. You're not going to people usually don't have cash reserves like that. A lot of what Binance does is it has they say at least 1-to-1 reserves, which means it's if there's one Bitcoin on the exchange, 1-to-1 Bitcoin, 1-to-1 Ethereum. There's a lot of assets there that are valued as cryptocurrency. So it would be a little bit more difficult. They'd have to find a way to do that. I don't know if they have the money. I would assume they do because Binance hasn't let me down yet, but we'll see. Now, this also applies to other people out there. I think FTX had deals with Tom Brady, Tom Brady's wife, ex-wife Giselle. I think Shaq was even there. Kevin O'Leary was there. They could go to those people and say, hey, we want the money back. Right? So that's kind of going into what they're talking about. But maybe a clearer way to understand this would be saying clawbacks FTX. See, all right. FTX millions in political gifts at risk of bankruptcy clawback. Okay, this is from Bloomberg Text. Please don't be okay. There's no paywall. So at least $73 million of political donations are tied to FTX. Money went to Democrats and Republicans, mostly through PACs. We all know what PACs are. At least $73 million of political donations tied to Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX may be at risk of being clawed back as bankruptcy lawyers sort through the remnants of his crypto empire in search of assets to repay creditors. Creditors are people that lost money in FTX. Right? The wide-ranging contributions from Bankman-Fried and two of his top lieutenants, Ryan Salame and Nishad's son, include more than $6 million to a super political action committee for the House Democrats, $3.5 million for the GOP Senate Leadership Fund, and $3 million for a fund that backs Senate Democrats. Okay. To read the full article, I got to log in. So there's a little bit of paywall there. Let's see. Blockworks has an article. Please don't do a paywall. Do they have a? Yes, here it is. Large financial institutions that receive large amounts of funds from FTX this year in repayments of loans and may have known something was amiss in an exchange. This is the thing that I think the lawyers are going to be able to use. How would Binance really know what was going on? Because Binance was in talks to buy FTX before they saw how bad the numbers were. I think that'll be used against the people that try to claw back the money from Binance. And then, how would Tom Brady know what was going on at FTX? How would Giselle know? How would Shaq know? How would Kevin O'Leary know? How would they know all this bad stuff was going on? I just don't see there being many ways to claw back money. They can try. I mean, they can try, but we don't talk about court cases too much because they're very boring and tedious. This case would last for years. It wouldn't be a simple thing, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not even going to try to be, but whenever I hear about cases like this, it takes years. This bankruptcy case is going to go on for years, and it's not going to be pleasant. I don't know. How long will FTX bankruptcy take? I expect the FTX bankruptcy to take a decade or more for the process to sort out what assets remain and who owns them. Joshua Peck, an expert on crypto risk, told CBS Money Watch at least $1 billion in customer funds are unaccounted for, according to routers. I don't know if it's going to take that long, but that's expert talking right there. Scares it's wild. So yeah, probably going to be a while. Though. But that's what they're talking about. It's the clawbacks. It's going to take a long time. It may not happen until the next bull market. And that's a few years or a year and a half perhaps away. Probably, we're going to find a bottom here in the next few months, but I'm not concerned about it right now because most likely by the time all this is done, it'll probably happen when Bitcoin's above like $100,000 and they have more than enough money to pay it back if they needed to. But I just don't see the court being able to prove that CZ, acted in bad faith, so to speak. They could ask for all these records, all these emails, everything. That may shed some light onto it. Maybe that brings more scrutiny, which often happens in discovery, right? Look what happened to Elon when his text messages got out there during this Twitter trial, I didn't think there was anything wrong with him, but I'm an average Joe. The media likes to sensationalize, but it's just, what can you do, right? So that may cause more issues, but I just don't see clawbacks really being an issue. Right now, I think of CNBC and the legacy media really just being salty that they didn't break this story. And the fact that they're trying to stay relevant in an industry that doesn't trust them. Right? This morning, last night, late at night, I was around 11 o'clock or so. I was driving back from Seattle and I was listening to some Sirius XM radio, and the hourly news report came on. And they said that Elon Musk was banning journalists for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Right? And I was like, okay, my initial instinct was, wow, they're lying to me about something. There's definitely a reason for why these journalists are getting suspended. When I got home last night, I had some wine, and then I was reading Twitter to kind of look what's going on, because I saw Elon trending #1. I saw a whole bunch of drama, whatever you want to call it. And then I learned that a few days ago, I remember I saw a post about somebody stalking Elon and his family. And it looks like they've been using all those Twitter accounts that tell what somebody is exactly where they're at. And so, from my understanding, Elon Musk was protecting his kids by making sure that nobody could dox another person's exact location at that point in time, with a minute by minute bot type of activities. That's what I understand. And I felt like that was fine. I had more clarity of what was going on. Right now, if you listen to CNBC, sometimes Fox Business and Bloomberg and Yahoo News and stuff, legacy media, CNN, MSNBC, regular Fox News even, whatever else is out there too. Usually, I feel like I only hear that part that you see in the radio, where it's just oh my gosh, Elon Musk's bans journalists for no reason. And then when I go look into the story, I can be I understand it. I may not even agree with it. All right. Sometimes when it comes to politics or policies, I might not even agree with it, but I at least I understand what they're saying and what the story is. I don't get that from the media anymore. So when I hear them going after CZ and asking about the $2.1 billion in clawbacks, I had to do some research on it, because I myself was what the heck is going on here? Why would they need $2.1 billion? And then I realized whoa, this is going to take years and years and years. So I don't see any problem with that affecting Binance. Now, there was an attempted bank run the other day where they tried to flush people out. They tried to scare people, and Binance handled the stress test appropriately. But I always have to look for more information. That's why I turn to people on Twitter like Zach H. I figure out his name. I'm gonna mess it up if I try to say it because it's Zach and then a couple letters and stuff. Zach XBT. He's a good one. Some other ones out there. But, I trust these guys to break the news and go into the on-chain data and look for stuff. Or CoinDesk, who broke the story for FTX. That's who I trust. I don't trust legacy media to tell me the whole story, more of just a sensationalized piece that draws my eyes in there and that causes me to be mad at an individual or a political party. Fox News wants me to be mad at Democrats. CNBC, MSNBC want me to be mad at Republicans. Meanwhile, I'm mad at both sides, right? And maybe that's because I watch all networks just to kind of get a little bit of idea of what's going on. But, I was looking on Amazon today for a tinfoil hat because I think I'm going to start a segment on this channel where I literally just wear a tinfoil hat and I start talking about possible conspiracy theories. Nothing dangerous or nothing against YouTube policies, but more like, well, I bet there was something underhanded going on about Sam Bankman-Fried being arrested a day before he was supposed to testify. I think there was something fishy about that. And so since I can't prove anything, I would wear a tinfoil hat and I would just speculate. And just for the fun of it, and stuff like that, because I really just don't trust. I don't trust media. I don't. And sometimes I think to myself I'm a little crazy for not trusting them. But every time I think that, they come out and do something like that. Elon Musk bans journalists for no reason, and then I learn what the reason was. And it's not even like they could even be partially truth, right? But the fact that they don't want to expand upon it or really look into it, it freaks me out to a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is bad. That. And hey, Cape Cod Mama, Binance fears, Binance drama a little bit here, and then a little bit of Bitcoin gaining dominance, but basically just a massive breakdown off of technicals. More pessimistic news from the Federal Reserve today as well, leading with, kind of the Binance news here is really freaking people out. If you want to go to the why the stock market crashed today or just had a really bad day, we had talked about this a few times. The NASDAQ and the SPY were both in these downtrends, and they both got rejected as they tried to break out. Okay, that's number one. And then what happened was over the past few days, we had a decent CPI report and we had our 50 basis point rate hikes. Okay. When Jerome Powell came out, he was pretty hawkish when he gave his speech, and that kind of spooked the market a little bit because, I'll go into that in a second. But basically, Cape Cod Mama, today we had even more of a reinforcement to a thought process or a policy from the Fed, which says that, hey, we're going to raise interest rates more than you guys think we are. We may do slower increases to get there, but we are going to reach that level. And then on top of that, we're not going to cut rates too quickly. We're going to leave these rates exactly where they are for a while once we find our top part, and that could go on into 2024. All right. So the market has been pricing in rate hikes to a certain degree, not as high as the Fed is coming out and saying right now, and they have been pricing in a rate cut sooner than the Fed wants to go to. And so the market is now realizing, whoa, we've been pricing in maybe a slowdown, but no recession. Now they're starting to price in a small recession, and now there's fears that maybe it may be a larger recession than that. I'm already kind of sure we're going to go into a recession. I've been kind of saying this for a while. However, I've been calling the market irrational, an irrational thing at this moment in time because it's going in all these wacky directions, which I don't think it should, but the market's not wrong, right? That's why I've still been day trading and taking little nibbles in here. But I still think the economy is going to get a lot worse than people say. And now all of a sudden you're seeing CNBC people switch around again, Fox Business switch around again, MSNBC, Bloomberg switch around again and say, hey, maybe we really are going into recession. They're pulling out all the same talking points they did last time we had a big market downward move, right? I'm not too concerned. I'm just continuing to dollar cost average here, but I think we're just going to have to wait for the bottom to occur sometime Q2 of next year, end of Q1. And, after that, we'll probably go sideways for a couple months of just being very bored at whatever level we end up dropping down to. And then eventually we start to bounce. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, like I can't miss the Bitcoin train, yada, yada, yada. And the good thing is for the next bull market, we'll have regulation on board, which means more Wall Street money will be participating in the crypto space, which I think I'll absolutely love. But as far as today, technical rebound still playing out from a couple days ago, and then the Federal Reserve is really a big portion of why I think the stock market went down today, because the stock market definitely didn't start well in the early morning, and it just kept on going down to the end of the day when we had a little bit of a rally. But look at that. Apple's down, Tesla's down, Walmart's down. My oil and stock companies are down. They're kind of at support levels here. Zama's down a little bit, but I'm not too concerned. I'm going to be holding a lot of these stuff going until March, April probably for some of these plays. Like I've scaled out about like 70, 80% of my ZOM right now, but I'm holding the last bit until next year. And, small dividends. But my stuff like PXD, which is at support right now, that stuff I'm going to be holding for a while. See, at a general level of support, hoping it bounces up. If it doesn't, it's fine. As long as it really doesn't fall down below $189, I'll probably be happy. But I've owned this stuff since like 150 or something like that, so it's been a while. But it has 11 and like 12% dividend basically. But that's why everything's kind of going to shit today. Bitcoin just having some extra news as far as Binance, people freaking out about it. But so far, I've been looking for news on Binance, and I just haven't seen anything that sounds off a red flag to me so far. But I'm looking for it right now. If you guys have any tweets or information, tell me who to follow right now or whose tweet to look up to say like what's going on with Binance. Because all I hear is like general FUD or people saying don't FUD, but not like what exactly is the problem right now. The only thing I've heard is CNBC pushing out their video about Binance CZ. Again, that 2.1 billion, that would come years down the road. And so that's why I'm just so confused that they were trying to push it out, like trying to say, oh, it's imminent. They're going to need $2.1 billion. And then, I was just looking at Zach XBDT. The last time I checked out his channel, it was yesterday when he posted this. He exposed a fake NFT artist for saying that she was doing the work when she really wasn't. But, I haven't seen anything. That guy's usually the really good guy to look for. Let's see. Hey, Brandon, Crypto Elevest spell check works too. Oh, that's not to me. Okay, never mind. And hey, Brandon, Twitter stuff is going horribly. I guess it depends on what your goal is for Twitter. To me, I find Twitter more entertaining than ever. I find myself using the application more than I ever have. I paid for Twitter Blue. I'm a happy customer of it. I don't usually go towards the drama, so I usually don't care about what Elon Musk is doing and stuff like that. I care primarily about what he's doing for Twitter, and by that I mean like what's he doing with the Vine that he owns, what he's going to do with the payment service with like Dogecoin and all that good stuff. That's what I normally care about. As far as Elon, his what do you want to call it? His perception, reputation is like taking a hit, right? But honestly, the way I view it, Elon's getting a whole bunch of new users onto the platform, getting them very active, and I think he'll be part of Twitter for the next couple months. I think personally, this is like going back to my tinfoil hat type of theory type stuff. I believe well, I know this for a few companies, the local small type of business things. I believe that businesses and corporations are ready to get back on Twitter for ads. They're just waiting for Elon to step down from Twitter CEO and go back to Tesla. And then when Twitter quiets down, they're going to all flood back in there because they're going to have a lot more people looking at their content. I know Twitter right now is working on a way to be able to track your data in a way that allows them to do targeted ads like a Facebook and stuff like that. Right now, they just have ads up and it's like, oh yeah, people will see your ad. Maybe they'll click on it. Old Twitter is really, really bad as far as monetization of their users, the product, which is you, right? But I think he's fixing all that stuff. But I think he's doing fine as far as the management of Twitter personally, but I think that's just because the only way that he knows how to get people to Twitter is by doing these wild sensationalistic things. So I think there's like an order to it, but his reputation has definitely taken a hit. I think all liberals, all my liberal friends hate him now when they loved him just a few years ago with Tesla. I think it all started, I think, in, what do you want to call it? COVID, when he wanted his plants and stuff opened. But yeah, it's definitely become a huge battlefield over there. But I only notice it when it goes viral. I only notice it when I see Elon trending that #1 spot or Spaces stuff trending. But I know there's a lot of misinformation on both sides, so it's going to be a mess no matter how you look at it. Some people don't like the drama, and I bet this is even scared off a couple people that just don't want to see that type of stuff. But to be honest, when he suspended the journalist today, once I learned that they were trying to like dox his kids and stuff like that, or do the links to that information, I didn't like the move, but I understood the move, and I don't really care about journalists, so I thought it was fine that they had they were taken down a peg. I think journalists under Trump got really inflated egos, thinking they were going up against what they perceived as like one of the worst human beings in the world, and they felt so good that he lost the 2022 election that they felt like we did something and we have power. And it's very hard to convince people who think they have power that they really don't. They kind of have to be forcibly shown that, whoa, I could have an issue here. And I don't think, as much as people say, I'm leaving Twitter and I'm never coming back, 95% of those people come back within a few hours to see what's going on or to like other people's tweets and stuff like that. They may not tweet, but they're definitely liking. So I don't know how it all ends. I'm sure Twitter will be fine in my opinion, but it really, I guess it all depends on what you use Twitter for. I primarily use it for meeting and hanging out with people that I know in the field, kind of looking to see what they're working on, DMing people every now and again, talking to special groups of mine in the crypto blockchain field, answering questions that people that want to know something about marketing or YouTube or crypto or technical analysis. And maybe and a lot of sports. I don't necessarily use it for what's trending on Twitter right now. I follow this guy. I want to see what's happening as far as people scamming other people. This guy is very good at exploiting scammers and stuff like that. Trending. I don't know what the UTSA is, but Troy defeats USTA to cure bowl. I have no idea what this is. Oh, okay. It's a football game. I can watch that. The FBI. I don't know why the FBI is trending, but let's give it a look. Let's see. Oh yeah, Twitter Spaces. Yeah, Twitter Spaces scares the crap out of me because it proves a lot of stuff that I thought was wrong was actually happening in the background, which really scares me. But again, tinfoil hat a few months ago. Now it's real, right? But what North Dakota State type sports, right? Most of the stuff I see on here is sports. Sports. Blockbuster. Whatever. Oh, maybe it's the Netflix show. Blockbuster canceled after one season on Netflix. Oh no. But stuff like that, right? That type of stuff I'm totally fine with. But if it's like some of the Spaces stuff we saw this morning, or Barbie, or Optic, or my major announcement with Trump's NFTs, I usually don't pay attention to it too much. Although I did pay attention a lot to Trump's NFTs because apparently, like NFTs should, they unlock something that you can get later on by buying them, which I think for Trump was a oh my god, I don't even know what exactly it was. I don't know what the website was. Can I find the website for Trump's NFT release? Yeah, there we go. Um, these, yeah. Um, let's go with this one right here. So, oh, let me move my head out of the way. I didn't get enough time to really check these out. All I saw was what I saw for Twitter. But I mean, Can I click on this just to make it larger? Oh my lord. He's winking at you guys. USA. Oh, these are Trump dollars. These aren't even real dollar bills, $100. These are Trump $100 bills. Okay, but basically, I think back on Money Green, Face Wink, I think there's something like details maybe. Oh, Polygon Chain, interesting choice. So, the first digital trading card by President Trump. Are you ready to make history? For the first time ever, collect your own official Trump digital trading cards by President Trump. Incredible hand-drawn art inspired by President Trump's extraordinary life and career. The collection features unique Trump trading cards, limited to one-of-ones, gold and silver autographed cards, Cowboy Trump, Astronaut Trump, Business Trump. Which Trump are you? Learn more at collecttrumpscards.com. Follow at Real Donald Trump, Collect Trump, Twitter, and Truth Social. They want you to follow him on Twitter. He might be coming back sooner than you think. Before purchasing this Trump digital trading card, please read carefully the terms of service. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me go here very fast. Going down. I might have messed up. I might have put another period there. Let's go right here. Does that work now? There we go. Okay. They're sold out. Yes, I know that. That was big news yesterday. Okay, yeah, so you get a Miami dinner with Donald Trump, a Mar-a-Lago group cocktail hour, one-on-one meeting with the 45, play golf with Trump and your friends, golden edition signed e-trading cards, hand-signed memorabilia, group zone session with number 45, individual Zoom call with Donald, right? So if you buy these specific ones, I guess you guys get some perks out of it, which this is why I like NFTs, because they unlock certain perks. And they did it the right way through the blockchain, which is like crazy. Like, there's no president that actually supports blockchain except for Donald Trump now. It's like, who would have thought him? He came out against cryptocurrencies like 4 years ago, something like that. Now, he's talking more and more about them. But store your Trump cards, purchase Trump cards, receive your cards and sweepstake codes. And I just mean, like, look at all this. I know, back when we had a bull market, oh my gosh, I wish those days were still here. I missed the bull market because that was the easiest money ever, because there was just so much free money being printed out by the Fed. Any guys can question some of that wild stuff, wild stuff. Funny how Gensler was on a YouTube interview today. That guy is doing public relations right now. He knows he's under a microscope. He knows Republicans are about to come after him in January. So he has to try to get some public support out there. And, who knows if Biden and Democrats will really rally to that guy's side to help him out, or if they just say, hey, we enjoyed what you did, but we think we need a new SEC head in here because we think you didn't do a good job with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. Papa Powell, talk, give the candle. Hey, Mike, I hope you're good. What's your opinion on Trezor or Ledger? Which one do you prefer? I like Ledger more, but it's all about preference. Like, literally, go to both websites, look at the specs for them, and see which one you like the most. I got Ledger first, so it's kind of like how I got into Apple first. So I just kind of stuck with it. They're both fantastic products. Thoughts on the Starbucks strike? Thoughts on Black Rifle Coffee? I don't know much about Black Rifle Coffee. But as far as Starbucks is concerned, I'm not too concerned in the long run. It may mess with the stock a little bit here, but Starbucks is not enjoying this push to unionize in certain areas, and they've been able to push back against that by slyly, maybe not so sly, closing down stores that have unionized. Now, normally that's illegal, but they have a pretty good reason for it at the same time, because a lot of the stores they're closing down happen to be in very rough neighborhoods. There are stores in Seattle, just like Amazon Go stores, where the area is too dangerous. People break in all the time, where they just say, hey, do I really need to have a store open here when I have like 1,000 other Starbucks around Seattle? No, I don't, because a lot of cities are getting more and more dangerous to live in. The joke in Seattle is there's a coffee store every block. And if I go over here to maps, oh my gosh, I got a lot of tabs open right now. There we go. Let's get Optimism Brewing here. And let's just go over here and let's just type in coffee. Tons of little coffee stores here. There's more coffee stores than this, I guarantee you. But basically, there's coffee wherever you want to go. Anywhere in Seattle, you can easily get coffee. There's Downtown Coffee Works, Cupcake Royale, First and Pine, Simply Seattle. I don't even know. Eat Seattle. But basically, you see, there's one that's right here. A cafe right there. You can find coffee. I guess it's not counting cafes. It's just counting coffee shops. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But that's there's tons and tons of coffee here. I don't think they're going to care if they have to close down one or two Starbucks. I think in the long run, they are going to face more unionized disputes. But in the long run here, they're going to rely less on the employees at Starbucks, and they're going to do a lot of robotic orders. I think you're going to see Starbucks here pretty soon. Certain Starbucks, not all of them, because they can never do it with all of them. You're going to have Starbucks out there who have no front desk people. They just have kiosks and people in the back making the coffee. And, maybe one person just to hand the coffee off. I don't think you're really going to see many employees. So they're going to scale back on the employees. Those employees will have better pay. They'll have better benefits because they're in unions. But there'll be less people getting access to those benefits because they're still going to try to keep those expenses as low as possible. So for Starbucks, well, the Starbucks headquarters is, if I can find it over here, Soto. This it? Okay, it's always weird looking at it from the bottom. There it is. That Starbucks headquarters is right out of town. This place is perfectly fine, but every other Starbucks, like the actual coffee spots, I think the only one I really go to in Seattle is the one on the Columbia Center, which is right here. They have one at the bottom, first level, and they have one at the 42nd level, I think it is. We also have the Starbucks Reserve, which is pretty nice. But, they have a few Starbucks in here. Starbucks, 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 Starbucks. They got Starbucks a lot of places, okay? I think they're going to be fine. In the short term, they're going to be going down with the rest of the market, if you ask me, but I don't think the strike is going to be a large reason for that. The fact that the workers are striking, in my opinion, is a good sign that they're keeping their expenses low from a corporate standpoint, even though they probably deserve more money. See, and hey, Nico, I'm going to tell you a secret. You have been very accurate with your predictions. I see all influencers on YouTube, Tino Crypto University, James Crypto, etc. And so far, your predictions have been on cue. Honestly, I think I watch a lot of other people on YouTube every now and again. I try to see why they're saying the things they are. Um, to me, it just seems like a lot of influencers don't understand that Bitcoin right now is moving with the stock market. I come from a background of trading options and stocks. I understand how to do those quite well. I understand how to do crypto, but that's because I understand how to do stocks and stuff like that. I think people keep on forgetting that the NASDAQ and the SPY, I think the NASDAQ, some people think the SPY, really do lead Bitcoin here. And then I guess the other part of that is I understand my technicals. That's given. You know, there's a phrase for it, but you know, I understand when the government does something, there's consequences to it, and the government at its core really doesn't care too much about how it hurts people as long as the state itself is good, right? We want inflation to go down because it's for the good of the state, somewhat for the people, but mostly for the state, right? We don't want to go into this crazy little spiraling of high inflation. When the government raises interest rates, um, it's a lagging effect. It takes months to have a really full effect on the economy. It has effects that happen quite fast, like mortgage rates, loan rates, and borrowing stuff. But over time, it starts to infect other industries because you see corporations start to slow down. when corporations start to slow down, they have to keep their earnings up and they have to make sure they're still making a lot of money. So they start to lay off workers that they don't need anymore. Projects that they were spending tons of money in for research and development to use later on to make a profit off of, now those are too expensive when they're not generating as much capital. So they have to cut those off, and those people get laid off or reintegrated into other positions in the company, but most of the time they just get laid off. When that cycle happens, it hits everyday people running their mom and pop shops. This could be like a coffee shop that we just talked about, like a Starbucks. It could also be just your basic, Joey's Italian Pizza. I don't know an Italian name, but pizza shop, all the restaurants in Seattle. It can affect all that type of stuff. And that's people don't usually understand how the economy works. I didn't even do too well in economy. Well, I did do well in economy classes back in college, but not. I was a guy that I didn't pay attention to much of what I was taught when it came to economics classes. I was usually in the back of the room playing Deer Hunter on my iPad. And then what I would do is after class, I would read my book and then kind of just learn it myself. Because a lot of times, since I have really bad ADHD, I honestly had to teach myself a lot of stuff in college because I just couldn't comprehend it from the teacher. And then if I had any questions, I would go to my teacher's office hours because that's a really logical thing to do. Because one-on-one help from a teacher it's their job is much easier than trying to get help when you're in a room with like 150 kids, right? So I spent most of my time reading books on economics and stuff like that. All of this stuff should be known to people on Wall Street. However, they're drunk on money right now. Going back to why I think everybody's acting so irrational right now, it just seems like they're so used to getting free money from the Fed that they're willing to call the Fed's bluff and says, hey, Fed, I don't think you're actually going to raise interest rates as far as you think you do. I think you're actually going to not raise them as much as you think you are. And then on top of that, you're going to cut them before you say you're going to cut them. You're going to cut them before inflation reaches 2% because we know you like to give us free money. So, they're used to that type of mentality here. And so just from a little bit of common sense understanding, it's like once you understand economics, you understand the common sense of economics, I guess you could say. That's not a really good way to say it. But, other influencers out there, other crypto people out there, technical analysis, a lot of them have a lot of good ideas and you can kind of see where they're going. And I'm not the best out there. I doubt I am, even on YouTube. I just think they get caught up in the swings that are being played out by day-to-day news, right? And for me lately, I haven't even been doing those swings. I've just been playing day trading. And I show you guys the day trades I've been doing, the opportunities for breakdowns and breakouts, mostly breakdowns these days. But the past few days, you had a couple few day trades there. But, you just got to take it easy. There's no reason to believe we're in a bull market, right? I know so many people that claim that June was the lows. It made no sense because the economy, you knew was going to get worse with every interest rate hike. It was going to get that much worse time and time and time again. With like the 6 to 12 month lagging times, it's going to take a while for us to feel the full brunt of that. And by the time we do, wow, we're going to be in trouble. And then the economy is going to slush its way around at a really nasty spot for a while because we're not going to be cutting rates. We're not going to be cutting rates. Remember, guys, hold on a second here. Actually, let me see if I can go over here. So you see this is back in the 80s, how high they had to raise interest rates when we had massive inflation. But go over here. Let's go to where we are now. 2000, right? Dot-com bubble, they dropped rates. We are picking them back up. Back over here, 2008, we came down again. We're not going to do that this time. We're not going to cut rates. We're going to go into a period of economic turmoil, whatever you want to call it, recession, right? We're going to stay flat because we're going to be dealing with inflation this time. We back up a little bit here. Refresh the page here. You see how they kept this up? See how they had to keep it at a high level? They cut eventually, but it was high for a while. They cut too soon. They had to re-up the rates. 1980, 1981. They cut too soon. Jerome Powell does not want to do that because that's embarrassing. We're all human. He's worried about his legacy. He does not want to perceive as somebody that was too weak on inflation, where he screwed up and they had to fix it again, right? Because that's another additional shock to the economy. They're going to keep it up there for a while. That's where the pain really heads up, because then the market keeps on thinking we're going to go do a 2008 drop or a 2000 drop or a 2020 drop or something like that. We're not doing that this time. We're going to stay up there for a while, and that's where the pain that he keeps on talking about is going to really come from there. But it's a bluff. It's a bluff game right now. It's a game of chicken. The market, the economy are going to be, mostly the market is going to freak out and say, oh my gosh, Jerome Powell, we're going to keep on going down unless you cut those rates. We're going to do it. We're going to tell you, right? And that's mostly from hedge funds, traders out there, yada, yada, yada. Jerome Powell is going to be, well, is inflation at 2%? I don't think so. Bye, Felicia. That's going to be the game played right now. And he may cut the rates, but I think it's not going to be until 2024. So it's going to be like a full-on year of pain with small increments. And then, only then, once the economy kind of finds it's going to find a bottom. It'll be going up a little bit as the everything kind of neutralizes. But we're not going to see massive growth, the growth that really drives massive gains until 2024. The good thing about crypto, though, is if you buy at the bottom, your gains start to get really high really fast, because all it takes is like Dogecoin going from 5 cents to 8 cents, and you've already walked away like 20-30% profit, while the stock market's only up like 15% during that time period. But yeah, we're not going to be able to just cut rates like we've done before. That's where so much of my pessimism comes into play here. Let's see. And again, in San Francisco, I saw Starbucks across the street from another Starbucks. They can afford to close down a few. Oh my gosh, they have way too many Starbucks. I think they've also had slow growth in emerging markets as well. That's one of the issues they've been facing from as a headwind there. But I mean, there's tons of Starbucks in Seattle. Just a lot. Like again, Starbucks isn't even the only coffee shop, and you saw how many coffee shops there were. Like they have like nearly 300 coffee shops in the city, and more. Oh, this is back in So I mean, more popping up all the time. That was a lot. Back when I lived in Seattle, I worked in Seattle. I used to work in a building called the Dexter Horton Building in Seattle. It looks like a gigantic E, I guess, from above. But there was a coffee shop in there, and that's where I got all my coffee. I bet I can find it in here. So there's okay, I worked like right next to this building. Okay, right here, yeah. And yeah, Pegasus Coffee right there in the Dexter Horton Building. So you go right here. Then that's the other side of the building. There's a bus in the way. What the heck? This is like literally a bus. This is only for buses in the middle of the day. Yeah, Pegasus Coffee right there. You walk through here, you got to deal with a pretty nasty security guard woman who never liked me. And you go up to your floor and you just go do work. And then you go over here for lunch. Piroshki. Oh my God, great. I don't even think is this still open? I don't know if it's still open yet. It is still open. They were closed for a while. It was really sad. But yeah, there's so many coffee places in Seattle. It's absolutely wild. One of my friends used to have an office up here, or actually I should say his dad did. There's no way he had it in here. But I used to get off the bus right here. Little bus stop. You should see let me back up a little bit. You should see a 594 on here. No. 4th and Cherry. Let's go over here very fast. And see, there's a Starbucks right there. And there's also a Starbucks on the 40th floor of this bad boy too. 44th floor, something like that. Where's the 594? I don't even know where that's at. Oh, but yeah. If I could zoom in there, you'd see another Starbucks. But yeah. We're in a weird time, guys. It's not going to get better anytime soon. We still have to wait months, in my opinion. I'm going to be bearish on crypto for the next few months. I mean, I've been bearish for such a long time. I've taken flack from it a lot, mostly on TikTok and Twitter and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, when they can prove me wrong, I guess we'll be there. But I don't think the bottom is until I'm not even estimating like how low we're going at this point. Although I think we might go to, you know, 13,000, 10,000, who knows? But I'm trying to time it. So it's more of like, hey, the Nasdaq and the S&P, those will give me a better idea of when the bottom is, rather than relying on the Bitcoin charts here. When I do the Bitcoin charts, I'm doing much more tedious work as far as Gann boxes, Gann squares, and that type of work. Not so much just doing a basic technical analysis, because while it does work, it's more about buying the zone than it is buying the support level exactly when it comes to these bottoms here. Yeah, no, could be. Unless you have a good rest of your night, my man. Let's see. And no worries, the Real Transporter, happy to help you guys out as well. I'm really curious to see if Bitcoin can actually get back above this 50 moving average here on the 15-minute chart. If we can actually break above that, then we might have a full-on reversal on our hands, at least back up to 17,000. But, so far we're just floating around with the 20, but we haven't had an issue the last two times. It's really the 50 we have to look for here. That might not happen for a while. Let me go back over here to the daily chart, though. We're basically just looking at a short-term support. I think right now we're just dealing with a wick on the daily that will probably bring us back down to the $15,000 level, $16,000 level, 15,994 it looks like. So I would assume that things are going to get really messy here later on in the day, later on in today's candle, I would say. I think you're going to see people start to add up more of their short positions here and then try to scale out later on tomorrow, and maybe Sunday goes back to being a little bit better. I hope that's right, though. I think, I told you guys 2 days, I wasn't able to stream yesterday because I went to the bars, the brewing company, to talk to crypto people. I told you back over here before we had the nasty candle, as we were testing out the 50-day moving average, that was the day bears were going to give it their shot to bring Bitcoin down. And they took their shot, and they frankly won pretty handily there. And you can see the remnants of that battle that took place. Because if we managed to break above that, that would have been a big bullish signal. That would have led us to have a golden cross. And even if we came down, that golden cross would have caused us to come back up here towards $18,500 and stabilize around there for just a couple weeks at least, because that would have been able to get us into Sunday closing above 17,622, leading us to actually have a formal close against a massive resistance level. And you guys can see we totally got rejected from that resistance level, unfortunately. Let's go right here very fast. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff that I've been looking at. Fed's rate. There we go. There we go. Let's get Twitter for a few seconds. I still just haven't seen... Sold out in 12 hours, yeah. Let's see. Oh, this is Twitter file stuff. I don't care about that right now. Market caps. I do love watching these missile launches. Mostly because you guys can't see all that. All the water they use.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Why?
Something about rockets. But, oh, maybe this is it. BitBoy posted something. No. Oh, on top of this is FTX drama. I guess more of it must have happened. No, this happened. This happened a few days ago. Sam Bankman-Fried diverted FTX customer funds to donate to political campaigns, authorities charge. Illegal donations to both Democrat and Republican candidates, huh? Yeah, dark money groups. Okay, that's not too big news though. Oh man. Um. Okay, I don't care about that for now. That's Matt Tabby. Spaces is back. This is actually terrifying. I'm not gonna complain about it now, but that was pretty freaking crazy. Like it's even worse that they have all the information. They have all the emails and stuff from the FBI. Um, let's see. I'm just not seeing anything as it relates to Binance right now. There may be an initial shock, but I just don't see it. Crypto Jack, I talk to him every now and again. What are the chances Ethereum follows the path of Neo? What's he looking at here? You guys can see that. Down to $115. Is that Ethereum? I can't tell because of the way this thing is set up. The way I'm looking at this chart, I might just come back down to the $500 to $300 range. Key horizontal at 1700. 1700 is way over here. Oh, he's just doing general zones though. We're probably gonna cut. Ethereum may have like another 30%, 40% to drop down though. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Binance CEO on CZ on CNBC. Many Big Four firms do not know how to audit a crypto exchange. Deloitte is a Big Four accounting audit firm and does Coinbase. Binance cannot pass an audit. That's why it isn't happening. See, he's saying he's spreading a big Binance foot here. If you guys want to hear the interview, we can actually play that very fast. It's only a minute and 30 seconds, but I think it's actually pretty interesting out there. Pretty interesting, excuse me.
We want to be transparent. We want to set the golden standard for reliability, solidness in this space.
So do it. Would you be able to handle it if somebody asked you for $2.1 billion back? Would that be okay?
That's the
clawbacks. Would you be able to
clawbacks.
still withstand things?
We're financially okay.
Including you have $2.1 billion to give away. If somebody came to claw that back, you'd still be fine?
We'll let the lawyers handle it. We are financially strong. Even after the FTT price dropped over the last year, we still had $500 million worth of it, $580 million worth of it on the day when we transferred from the address we received a year and a half ago. We never touched it. We actually kind of forgot about it.
But thus far, you haven't disclosed your liabilities. And I wonder why that is and whether you will.
Yeah, so we are working with firms to do the audited financials, liabilities, et cetera. But the audits don't reveal every problem. So,
no, but an audit from a Big Four auditor would reveal that, CZ. If you could get a Big Four auditor to say that, if you're saying that some of them don't want to work with you, that raises questions too. They don't want to work with you because you don't have the files and the data that would make them feel comfortable signing off and giving that stamp of approval?
Actually, many of them don't even know how to audit crypto exchanges. They don't really when they audit, they're very used to auditing a firm.
Does Coinbase, Coinbase has a Big Four. Coinbase has a Big Four auditor?
Actually, I don't look at Coinbase. We don't really look at.
I think so, though.
Yeah, so basically, I think that's where all the trouble is coming from. This video was kind of cut up to be more anti-Binance because this guy, Wall Street Silver, I follow him. He thrives off of chaos and just stirring the pot, so to speak. But yeah, so that's kind of some of the issues we're seeing right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a big auditor out there. If you guys have used Coinbase versus Binance, I think you guys will understand they're two completely different companies out there, and their user faces and how they manage money is totally different. Mostly because you see that I don't know if you guys can use leverage on Coinbase these days or not, the way everything's works out, but that's where a lot of the chaos around Binance is coming from right now. We'll see how it all works out, but right now the market is definitely telling you it's not too happy. It's in this small little holding pattern right here as we try to break out above the 50 moving average on the 15-minute chart right there. See me right there. I think we can. We just kind of stay positive for a little bit. Otherwise, we're dropping down to like 15,990 level or something like that. And hey, Art, everyone's bearish now. Rhetorical question. All the while, everyone shorted too late. Probably, yeah. I mean, it all depends. I mean, the breakdown level was earlier today, but even then, the short should have come at the testing of the 50-day moving average if you wanted to take it. And that was primarily off of the fears of, for me at least, the NASDAQ and SPY also being rejected from their long-term resistance levels. That's how I think about it personally. But as far as doing buying back in, there's an opportunity right now. We talked about it a few minutes ago as we were starting off the new trading day. There's going to be people that want to do the buy, and they're going to see what happens. You know, if we have more bad news today, we're probably just going to make a pretty nasty wick, and it'll probably come down quite a bit more. That's probably the most likely scenario here. But I think day traders are going to try to have some fun here going into the weekend, because luckily we don't have to worry about the stock market at least until Monday. And hey, buddy, it's happy to see you back. The sky is falling. What do you call? Yeah, I know. It's just definitely a bad day. But all this Binance FUD, I mean, rightfully has everybody freaked out. If Binance were to go down, there'd be a lot of people losing money. There. But I think people are already just taking the money out and put the crypto out and just putting it into wallets. That's the best thing you could do, because if Binance were to fail, there's going to be a rush to find a new exchange. And I think you would see regulators go hard to only allow a few crypto companies in America. So those crypto companies would be something like a Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, if it's still up. I don't really know what's been going on with Gemini. So like, you know, is there money more than that? Like a local type of companies? No, that's not it. No. None of these answer the question. Maybe eToro. Gemini seems to be one. I think they're still working, but their interest partner is having issues. But Gemini might be one. I think, isn't Gemini in Seattle actually? Let me double check that. Gemini Room, Gemini Construction. I thought there was an office space over here by the stadiums. Because when I normally get on the train for the ride home after a day of fun in Seattle, I'm normally standing right around here, and I normally look up. CK Global. I think there's Getty Images. I don't know where it is, but yeah, I think there's some type of building that has the Gemini logo on it. I'll have to find it. If I go over here to careers. Oh, they do have a Seattle branch here. Yeah, they do have a Seattle branch. Okay. Marketing. Customer marketing. Yeah, Seattle, Washington. Yeah, okay, there you go. Lead marketing operations. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, so that's something right there that you guys might have to go to or crack it. But basically, if Binance goes down, the regulations are going to be like just slamming down on the exchange system like hard. Every single exchange that is not qualified to be in America, they will be banned. So this could be a Bybit, this could be a BitGet, this could be a BigX, this could be everyone. It could all just get banned on the spot. No more of them in here. And you guys might be forced to use Kraken, Gemini, and maybe a few other smaller brands that may end up getting more market share. Coinbase as well, because they're different. But that's what might end up happening. But that's only if Binance goes down. At this point, it still doesn't look like they are going to go down, but the FUD is building up quite a bit. Be responsible with your crypto. And hey, Phil, any idea when SPY's going to catch a break? Next week it should go down a little bit more, than eventually bounce, and then we might go sideways for a little bit. But right now it's getting rejected off of those longer term trends that we've been seeing all the way for the past 5 months or so, 6 months or so, since like the all-time highs. We haven't broken that downtrend yet. We just got slammed down by it. It was pretty convincing slam down as well. But our next level of support should be coming in next week sometime, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we bounce off of that. But then, we have the market closed for a few days for the holidays, so that might mess up that time frame a little bit. But we should have it over the next 2 to 3 days. And hey, Brandon, Gemini been acting goofy lately. I don't use Gemini. I have no idea what that exchange does. I've only looked at it a few times. I think I had the Gemini app on my phone at one point, but I have no idea. I'll get into contact with them and I'll see like why should we trust you type of stuff. I know they're always looking to get more users, and if they can get my trust, or if they're working well, probably more like I know they're working well, I would tell you guys more about them. Same when it comes to Coinbase, probably, although Coinbase probably won't talk to me. They're too big and fancy for little old me. But maybe Kraken as well. I'll schedule some calls, and maybe I can do some video calls with them and just see where things go. It's always nice to talk to a marketing guy over there, see what they're working on, see how they're being safe, see how regulations may affect them, and stuff like that. Because I think those American companies are going to be better protected from regulation, to be frank with you. So that'll be something interesting to watch as well. But all of these jobs, like customer marketing, the only thing I would know right here is the marketing stuff. I don't do anything else. What's Gemini Prime? Oh, that's engineering, finance, accountant, design, data. They're hiring, right? They're hiring. Customer marketing lead. This is usually a lower position, I would assume. New York, San Francisco, or Seattle. The department marketing. Customer marketing lead to be an integral part of the lifestyle marketing program, specifically focusing on retail products, including Gemini Exchange, Gemini Credit Card, and Nifty Gateway. What's Nifty Gateway? NFTs, okay. Developing an impactful content calendar for customer segments, partnering with cross-function teams to launch campaigns and knowledge of crypto. This position will play a role in the success and retention of cross-sell efforts and support our loyal customer base. Reshape our customer marketing program for Gemini. Oh, email journeys. Ew. Email marketing is it's so old school. Passion for crypto. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably do this. It pays to work here. Let's see. Oh, whoa, this is cool. In compliance with the New York City pay transparency law, the base salary range for this role is between $158,000 and $221,000. Oh, but this is only in New York City. Of course it is. This is actually a pretty high up position there. Don't know why they're calling it a marketing lead, though. They should have a different, more better title on it. Marketing operations. How much is this? $137,000 to $192,000 in New York City. And if you guys have marketing degrees, know about crypto, Gemini's hiring. Not bad. So I'll give these guys a little bit of a ring here, and I'll see if I can learn any more about them, specifically Gemini and Kraken. And I'll see if I can get some videos on with it. Will send out some emails Sunday, because they're probably all taking the weekend off, honestly, like normal people. And then we'll see how everything goes. And hey, Edward, happy birthday, happy Friday, excuse me. I was thinking happy birthday. Happy Friday, my man. Hope you're doing well. Right now, guys, Bitcoin's still trying to hold this level here, and it's not having much luck. Let's go over to the 5-minute chart. We can actually just do the 1-minute chart here. Oh, no, let's do 5. I want to see more stuff going on here. There you go. We'll have this over here. There you go. But now I want to go over here to Kraken, right? Not the Seattle Kraken. There you go. Let's go down and let's go over here to careers. And remote anywhere. They're pretty chill. And marketing, really, it is the marketing jobs. Sales representative, yeah. That's institutional sales, so that's a little bit different. Retention marketing manager. Oh, retention marketing manager. That's an interesting one right there. That means keeping the people you have. That's hard during a bear market. User retention campaigns that guide clients to relevant products and services within Kraken. Develop retention strategies, but not limited to CRM, email. What is with these email people? SMS, push, customer segmentation, and marketing automation. High impact campaigns. Oh my gosh. Not many people can do a job like this in crypto. Doesn't even say how much money it pays. See, I like when a company is transparent, even if it gives you a freaking wild, massive range like $130,000 to $190,000, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but I like seeing that range. When they don't have a range, that really makes me think, they're playing games. They're playing games, right? And they also don't have nearly as many job openings as Gemini. I think Gemini is positioning themselves to do something big with regulation. I'll see if I can find any news about Gemini and lobbying in DC. That'd be kind of interesting as well. So, institutional sales representative. This does mean. Let's see. Introducing the staked non-custodial open financial infrastructure upon which developers can build products and services. They're trying to go down the chain route. Okay, American Geographic, that's fine. Crypto corporates, hedge funds, venture funds, and other institutions to understand their needs and purpose the solution that can best serve them. Be a staked advocate in promoting our products, solutions, and company values to new existing clients. Yeah, this would be interesting. I talk with a lot of same people in this type of group here as far as venture capitalists, banks, and stuff like that. It's a very dry world. I don't like it primarily, but you know, that everybody has their own style of people like to hang out with. Venture capital guys can be fun, but oh gosh, when you get to the details of it all, it's just very logical. Too logical for me. Oh man. Hey Brightius, everything's tanking for a few different reasons today. As far as crypto, it's doing a little bit worse for, let's just say, 2 reasons here. The first one being there's a lot of Binance FUD out there, so people are afraid that Binance is going to go under. That's the big one right now for crypto. The other one is we've been talking over the past couple weeks as far as the SPY and the NASDAQ. Both of those indexes have been facing some really stiff resistance levels from some longer-term downtrends. Well, over the 2 weeks ago, we were testing out to break out. We were seeing like, hey, can we break out of this? And we didn't. We got rejected off of it. And usually when we get rejected, we have some pretty sizable moves down. So it looks like the stock market wants to go down for the next few weeks here with maybe a hiccup or two next week or the week after that. But we want to go down. And then that's also putting some pressure on Bitcoin right now because everybody's just afraid of all of a sudden that the Federal Reserve isn't going to be as nice as they said they were, or people thought they were. People have been ignoring how serious the Fed has been, and now that they're just realizing that, oh man, Jerome Powell may be serious here, they're starting to freak out a little bit. See, and Adrian O'Brien, triple bottom on Doge seems to be playing out so well so far. We will see if it hits the target next day. What are you doing? Dude, stop. I spelt something on my leg, and Loki's trying to lick it up off my knee. But what do you call? Keep at it. Just have a stop loss here. Bitcoin's taking a little bit of a dip right now, but it's just trying to find some support to bounce off and break out above that 50 moving average here. Do I think Binance will go under? Right now, I don't think so. I mean, they had a pretty big stress test the other day. I think like $3 billion was removed out of Binance, and they did perfectly fine. What I guess was the big deal about today was if Binance had $2.1 in cash in case a bankruptcy court wanted it, they would. I don't know if they do. I just have no idea. I'm not CZ. But basically, how do I say this? When it comes to that, they wouldn't need to get the money. That it would take years for the bankruptcy court to get that money. These court cases last years and years and years. Let's see. And hey, Babyfish, BNB not having it. What do you call? What's BNB down to? BNB is down about 1.5% right now, while Bitcoin's still up like a teeny bit since the new day started here. Anything else kind of down a little bit? Engine Coin is also down right now. But yeah, BNB is definitely going to be one of those things that's going to be heavily shorted because everybody wants to see BNB go from $227 to zero. Can you imagine if you shorted that sucker down? Maybe I'll open up a small position, like a $5 position, 20x leverage, and just watch it go and see what happens. But that's only if BNB actually goes down, right? Maybe I'll do a 10x leverage or something like that, but you never know how those things are going to work out. Let's see. I don't even know if I have the ability to do that. I just popped a little bit of money into Binance or into BingX here. Let me see if I can do this very fast. Can I log into this account? Let's go to standard futures, I guess. Do they actually have BNB though? BNB. I feel bad for shorting it right now. I feel like I'd have a better opportunity if I just waited a little bit longer. But basically here, if I were to do, let's just do $10 5x leverage play. The liquidation price would be 186. Oh, I want to short it. There we go. Liquidation price would be 267. 267. That's way up there. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. So let's just do that then. Success. All right, so now I have a very small position in BNB as a short. It'll liquidate if I go to 267 or so. Let's hope it doesn't go up that high. I'll also do another trade of $10 with a 1x leverage. Actually, let me just go to 2x leverage here. I don't know why I don't need to go to a 1x leverage play. Let's just go to a 2x leverage play. Try to do baby steps here. And then let's go to 10 again. Let's go short. And that's a liquidation price of 328. Success. All right. So now I have two. I'm sure if I waited a little bit longer, it'd be fine. But I basically just got two little positions right there. We'll see how it goes. I just added like $100 in here. I'm just going to play around with it a little bit. But there's two shorts. If it does go kaput, we'll see how much $10 ends up going into as far as a short position here. But the first one has a liquidation price of 328. The other one has a liquidation price of 267. All right. So we'll keep track of it. I'm still kind of optimistic that we can kind of hold this level though. But while I'm live with you guys, who cares what the position is? It's just $100. Let's see. He feels bad. Bad, yeah. Oh man. But yeah, Junior. Right now, I don't think Binance will go under. We'll have to see. It really depends on how much people are going to try to pile on this, because they already tried to do a bank run on Binance earlier this week and they held up perfectly fine. If things get more worrisome, there's some type of leak out, that's really what's going to start the spiral. If there's a leak, if there's a big leak out there, like saying, "Oh my God, we're really Binance really isn't that secure. Everybody pull your money out." That's where things can go a little wild. But we haven't had it yet. I'll be on the lookout, as most of you guys will be as well here. But okay, everybody, I'm gonna call it a night. It's been a good like 3 hours talking with you guys, or 2.5 hours. But I need to go make some dinner, and I need to go take a look at use the bathroom. He's over here just like not happy with me because he's like, oh, you can see him. Hold on. There you go. You can see his ears right here. He's needs to go out and use the bathroom. But we'll see if we can hold this 16,527 level, everybody. Give it some time. I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna have another bad day overall, but at least we might have a little bit of a short-term bounce here. Hopefully, short-term bounce. Okay, most of the big moves should probably happen after all is asleep, but you're probably going to see a lot of short still opening positions, and the more we climb up here, because they want to see us come back down to $16,000 or so. Okay, all right. Loki says goodbye. There he is. Yep. Booga booga boo. All right. But happy to see you guys all again, and I will see you guys tomorrow and Sunday as well. But tomorrow there'll be 2 streams, one for members and one for everybody else that wants to enjoy the Bitcoin lifestyle here. And then we'll also be breaking down members, breaking down support and resistance levels for a bunch of different stocks out there, so you guys can have opportunities to buy and do some options plays, which will be going to be plenty over the next few days or